You are an entrepreneur, a professional, a speaker, or a coach. And although you've come a long way, it's time for you to take it to the next level. We've got you. This is the Author to Authority podcast. We'll help you use authority and influencer marketing to build your business stronger and faster by publishing a book. You'll hear from guests that are thought leaders in sales, marketing, networking, communication, social media, promotion, and business leadership. Let's do it. This is the Author to Authority podcast. And now your host, the extraordinary word ninja, Kim Thompson-Pinder.
Welcome to the Author to Authority podcast, and today I am being joined by Luisa Ferrario. Luisa, welcome to the show. Now, Luisa is a rebel transformative leader. She empowers entrepreneurs to set up a thriving business so they can accelerate making the money they desire and impacting millions. She helps them develop the right mindset, business structure, and leadership approach to double their monthly income in 90 days or less. So you see why we're going to have her on the show today. She works with them to scale their businesses, become the accomplished CEO of their own company, and lead with joy their team of rock stars. Welcome to the show, Luisa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kim. I'm so happy to be here.
Now, if you're listening to this, Luisa's got a bit of an accent. So where are you from?
I'm from Italy originally, and I still live in Europe, but I do not live in Italy anymore. And I live in the beautiful island of Cyprus, that is very close to the Middle East, the Mediterranean Sea.
Wow, that is so cool. So as we get started today, Luisa, I would love for you just to introduce yourself. This is your first time on the podcast. Share a bit of your story and what brought you to becoming that rebel transformative leader.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. Thank you for the introduction. So yes, we can say that today I am an international speaker. I am a published author, and I have more than 25 years of entrepreneurship, actually. And I founded more than 10 businesses globally. Yes, I am a success mindset coach. I a six-figure business mentor. The point is that how did I get here? And so I didn't always have the knowledge, the skills, the mindset to be an empowering leader for myself and also for other business women. As well as I haven't been so intentional and so impactful as I am today. I would say far from it. So back to my childhood and adolescence. I grew up in a middle-class family in Italy. This family very abusive in terms of environment, and as a consequence, it was a disempowering household. And for me, that meant to constantly trying to run away from danger and pain. This is what was happening instead of standing out for myself and for my own power. I didn't have any clue about those things, as you can imagine, in this kind of environment. So I had to deal with the traumas and with a lot of stuff like that. And I didn't have the mental and the emotional and the physical energy to learn how to own my own life. Mm-hmm. And so that was impacting a lot. Were still affecting me, even if I had my own family, even if I had a daughter, even if I had a husband. And so I woke up one day to the realization that none of the important areas of my life were actually working. So my marriage was not working, my finances not working at all, my health, I have a chronic illness, so my health was very compromised, and my company was not working. From one day to the other, I lost all of them. But even worse than that, my true wake-up call was when I was risking losing custody of my daughter. That was the day that I felt so hopeless and meaningless. I actually couldn't see any future for myself. And so I couldn't see how I could move forward. And that was my rock bottom. just a few days later, a week later, I came across my first self-help book that you for sure already know about. That is Chicken Soup for the Soul. I can still see myself going through the book and reading through the lines, the amazing lives and transformations of all those people. And that was life opening
Mhm.
experience. And I remember that I started the book just before going to bed, and I didn't go to bed that night. I just went through the whole book because I couldn't stop reading, and so I was so excited because of that. And so I started in just a few days to see again the possibility for me,
Mhm.
for my family, and for my business. To have a future. I couldn't think about thriving. That was definitely too much for me to think about, but I could see a future. I could see the light at
Mhm.
the end of the tunnel. I started overcoming one obstacle after the other, and I found myself more resourceful than I thought I was. I knew that there was a calling for me around those lines.
Mhm.
And what I found out was that coaching, just the word itself, was something that was really making so much difference in my life, just pronouncing it or just reading it. I started looking around and I found a business mentor, I found a business coach, and I remember that I made the very scary but exciting choice to invest €1,000 a month in a 2-year program. So we are talking about 22 years ago. It was a lot of money, and
Yes.
I didn't have those money, not even close. But I was confident that I could find the resources to have those money. If that was my calling, I could find the resources. And what I did was to sell a few small things, some jewelry that my mother left me when she died, and I went around asking my friends if I could clean their apartments, if I could work part time in bars making panini in Italy, so sandwiches. I started to land first serious clients as a coach, and then from there it's history.
That is so awesome. What I love about your story is that, you hit a point where you recognize that you no longer wanted to let the past define you. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that that's important in all of our lives. We can live our lives in the victim mentality. Oh, my parents did this to me, someone did
yeah,
this to me, I
yeah,
didn't have a good upbringing, and you can use it as an excuse, or you
yeah.
could say, you know what, it happened, I didn't like it, it was horrible, but I'm an adult now and I can make my own decisions and I can choose to act differently than they did. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I realized that this unprecedented, powerful journey, because it was anyway, it was powerful. It was a huge lesson for me. So
Mhm.
I learned that not putting myself first doesn't contribute to my own life and doesn't contribute to the life of other people around me. Not stopping to please everyone around me without acknowledging my needs and my own power doesn't contribute. Not asking and speaking up doesn't contribute, and
Mhm.
not defining my boundaries and not
Yeah.
pursuing my desires. So I think that at the end of the day, this is also what makes me the human being that I am today.
Mhm.
I'm not just the entrepreneur, but first and foremost the human being that I am, the mother that I am.
Yeah, you know what? I so agree, and you can't give what you don't have. The other thing I loved about your story was, you invested in this mastermind, but you didn't have the money. But instead of
Mm,
just trying to load up a credit card, you found ways to make the money. And I love that. I love that, love that, love that. Because, a lot of times we'll have these things offered to us and we think, oh, we can't do it. And usually one of two things happen. You put it on a credit card, but you really can't afford it. And, then it ends up becoming this burden, or you just don't do it. But I loved your option. You said, how can I make money to afford this? And so I just love, love, love that. because I know you've come prepared with a whole bunch of teaching and training on accelerating your business growth. And I remember the pre-conversation we had, and I was like, yeah, Louisa's got to come on here and share that. So I'm going to let you loose. And I might interrupt you a couple times, just ask a couple questions, but I just really want you to share, what you've prepared today that's just going to help our audience of consultants, professionals, speakers, and coaches take it to the next level.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Thank you. I think that one of the most important topics for all of us is how to land clients on a consistent basis in an ethical way, and also in a way that resonates with our values, with our message. And so one of the most important things that I would suggest, whether you are starting your business from scratch or whether you are in a scale-up phase where maybe you are pivoting. So in every phase of every business, there is always a point where you needed to ask yourself a few questions and to understand if you are still in alignment. So if you and the business are still in alignment with the audience that you are talking to. So I think that the most important thing is to be very clear with our message. And in order to be clear with our message, because when we are clear, people outside understand what we are talking about. If we do not have clarity, we don't go anywhere. I see that. Yeah. I'm not saying on a daily basis, but I see that very, very frequently. This is one of the first things that I make sure when I start working with someone is that their message is very clear. Okay, so yes. Once the message is clear, it means that, in my opinion, you have mapped out a few reference points. Let's call them pillars, okay? Those pillars could be 3, could be 4, could be 5, not more than that. Otherwise, it becomes a mess. And let's say there are 3. So in my case, for instance, just to give you an example, the first pillar is mindset, energy set, and emotion set. So basically are the 3 key points that you need to activate in order to attract whatever your business is meant to attract in order to grow. And this is the first point. So what you need to have in order to attract. The second point is what you need in order to set up a business that can hit 6 figures and beyond. And the third, so basically system, structure, strategies, those things. And the third pillar is leadership, basically. So leadership means that you own your message, you own your authoritativeness, you own your content. Every time you produce a thought, and then this thought is connected to your mouth and it comes out as something that you say, it is in alignment with who you are and also with who you are becoming in order to keep growing the business. Because a lot of entrepreneurs, especially coaches and mentors, do not realize that they stuck themselves because they do not shift from the mindset that you need in order to be a coach, the mindset that you need in order to be an entrepreneur. So there is a shift between the two. But anyway, so in my case, those are the 3 pillars. There might be 4 or 5, it's okay. But once you are clear on that, then it becomes very, very easy to create content, to create, again, thoughts, to attract the right people who could be business besties, could be business partners, could be clients, of course, but could also be people on your team. Because if we have not clarity here, then again, we attract people who do not fully resonate with our core message. Yes. And with our mission. So I draw something here that I want to share with you. This is very, very simple. It's something that you can easily do. Yeah.
So Louise, I'm going to stop you there because the people on the podcast won't be able to see that. So you've got a sheet of paper and you've got 3 circles. So a smaller circle in the center, a bigger circle around it, and another bigger circle around it. So just make sure you remember to describe that as we go along.
Yeah, exactly. So in the smallest circle, That's your core topic, the core topic of your business. Okay. In my case, is to help people hit six figures and beyond. Okay. That's the core topic. What could be for your business the core topic? Because I know that you do different things. What is the core topic of your business?
Helping consultants, professional speakers, and coaches become authorities in their niche through the writing of their signature book.
Amazing. So book is the key word, right? Okay. Okay, so in my case is six figures and beyond, 6 figure plus. In your case is book. Okay, so amazing. So this is the core topic. So it's, let's say, 1, 2, 3 keywords that make sense and that resonate with your business. And then the outer circle, that is the middle one, just outside this one, is a circle where you want to put your pillars. So for instance, in my case, there are the 3 pillars that I just mentioned. So the pillar activate what it takes to attract, the pillar to activate what it takes to set up the structure, and the third one, what it takes to be a leader of yourself and of your business. Those are the 3 pillars. Okay, so you in my case, you divide the middle circle in 3 parts, in 3 equal parts. Okay, and once you have done that, so let's assume that we have 3 equal pieces of this middle circle. If we take the first one, that is the attraction part, and we then we then draw the outer circle, the biggest one, the part that is corresponding to the middle one, but the outside one, you can divide it in small pieces, in slices. Okay, I can show you. Something here. Maybe you can describe it better than I can do. And then you can put the questions that you are frequently asked by your customers or your leads. You can put information such as maybe mindset shifts that needs to be done. You can put controversial topics in your industry. You can put maybe successes that you had in terms of testimonials. So you can literally label each one of those small pieces, and then you have a huge amount of content that you can talk about, and that comes from the very center, from the very core of your business. Okay.
Yes.
So in my case, even if we happen to have the exact same core and the exact same 3 pillars, then we will have anyway a differentiation for each one of those small chunks. Okay, makes sense. And so there it becomes very easy to know what to talk about on social media, to know what to talk about when you are on a podcast, to know what to talk about when you write a book, to know what to talk about, whatever. Because I know that a lot of us struggle when it comes to, you have the blank paper just in front of you. Oh, what am I going to talk about today? Okay, I'm going live. I don't know what to talk about. Yeah, amazing. Okay, just look at that. 1, 2, 3 small pieces of that, and just talk about that, or just write about that. Yeah.
I love that, because, my word for 2023 is consistency. One of the things I've been doing is working out a content calendar for the year. Now, I don't use circles because I produce a lot of content. So I for me, it's just actually just trying to write down all the ideas in my brain, because there's so many going through there. So I've actually come up with 52 articles already for this year. I've got about 11 of them written, working on
Amazing.
11 of them written, working on number 12. So yeah, I think it's important that, you take that time to create, as opposed to just trying to get on there and talk about whatever. Take that time to create that content calendar, and your system, Luisa, of doing it is amazing. I mean, you do that properly, you could almost have enough content for a year just by just by doing what you've suggested there with those circles. And I think that's important to have, because then you've got a direction, and you can also look at it and see which topics really aren't resonating. So when you get it all down on paper, then you can sort it and you can organize it, and then you can make it you can say, oh, okay, so here's the one that I'm working on today, or you can even work ahead. And once you've got those ideas, then usually what I do is if I'm doing a video, I'll just take the topic or the article of the week or whatever, and I write down 3 or 4 main points, a few notes.
Yeah.
If you haven't never seen my office, I'm like the Post-it note person. These are 11 by 11. I've got 5 by 6. I've got 2 by 3. You name them, I have them. So, my Post-it notes become my friends. I just make some notes. I stick it onto my computer where the camera can't see it. And I look into the camera and I talk about it. Yep. So remember, Post-it notes should be one of your dear friend. And so that makes creating content a lot easier. And it keeps it on track so that you're not going off on all these weird kind of tangents. So I just love that, Luisa. I think that's just going to be so helpful to the audience. So just before we go today, a couple of questions for you. One, if people have heard this and they're like, oh, I need help with this, I really need to talk to Luisa, how can people connect with you?
So we have an amazing Facebook group that is called Wealthier Women Entrepreneurs. So you can ask to join. It's a private group, so you can ask to join that group, Wealthier Women Entrepreneurs. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn or go directly on my website that is name and surname, so luisaferrario.com. Those are the main ways that you can connect with me. But I apart from Instagram, that I am there, but I'm not really a fan of Instagram. Otherwise, you can find me in a lot of places.
So, Luisa, we got a couple of minutes left. I just want to give you a minute or two just to share a final sort of closing thought with the audience for today.
Okay. So once someone said, I have a dream.
Yes.
And I have more than one dream, actually. Really, the biggest one is that women in particular should give themselves permission to be much bigger, much more impactful, and much more and bolder than they usually are. And so truly, truly committed to help everybody who would like to get to these results, because I think that most of us are already wealthier and more impactful and more successful than what they thought they are, what they think they are. But the point here is that we do not dare admit it. That's the point, in my opinion. And this is where we should come closer one to each other and stand out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So this has been Luisa Ferrario and Kim Thompson-Pinder on the Author to Authority podcast. Don't forget to check out my book, Author to Authority, on Amazon. So here's the thing. If you type in Author to Authority Volume 1 or Author to Authority Kim, you will find the book. And a lot of these things that we talk about on the Author to Authority podcast, I do go into greater detail on the book. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the very next episode. Bye now.
You've been listening to the Author to Authority podcast. The extraordinary word ninja, Kim Thompson-Pinder, has helped over 200 entrepreneurs, professionals, speakers, and coaches write and publish their books that have become incredible marketing tools for their business. And many of those have gone on to become Amazon best-selling authors and have used their books to land high-level clients and get on big stages. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit the website at www.authortoauthoritypodcast.com. See you next time.